Today on Larry King Now, it's the show everybody's talking about, The Walking Dead. We'll meet the stars, Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan, and they may reveal something, anything, about the series' 4th season.
There's zombies.
There's zombies.
There's zombies in
There are
this.
zombies.
And terror. I actually just think there's a fascination with the simplicity of the apocalypse. Like, it's the end of the world. Everything's about necessity. You don't even know if you're a hero, but you get to see if these normal people can be a hero.
Plus,
And this kid just kept on yelling, Glenn, 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 over. And it wasn't being like admonishing or like annoying. He didn't know my name. That's
but it's a
not my
compliment
name.
in a way.
I just think there's a rule. You probably just shouldn't shout at people in general.
That's all ahead on Larry King Now. With us on today's edition of Larry King Now are Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan. They are Glenn Rhee and Maggie Green, billed as the unlikely romantic heroes. Why unlikely, Stephen, do you think? I resent that.
Yeah, I resent that as well.
You know, I would be ticked.
Who wrote that copy?
Someone wrote, I didn't write it. Why aren't you? I think you're likely.
Oh, thank you very much.
How did you get the part?
Oh, by some stroke of magical luck and grace. I have no idea. I just went in and it was my first pilot season. I had just moved to LA. And I walked into an ABC pilot and I was getting to test for it, so I was so excited. And I thought I was going to get it, wide-eyed. And I walked out of there and immediately got a call saying, you didn't get it. So I was crushed. So I remember thinking I should quit, which is so stupid because if you show up five months in and that's your first audition, you're testing for a pilot, I think you shouldn't quit. But a month later, Walking Dead came along, and I booked that. And the amazing thing is if I would have booked the ABC pilot, I wouldn't have been able to do
Whatever
this show.
happened to the ABC pilot?
Nothing.
Did you like The Walking Dead from the start?
Yes, I did.
How did you came in the second year?
Yes.
Had you watched it the first year?
I hadn't seen it. I hadn't, they're very secretive about scripts too, so I literally had a 3-page scene to read. It's really funny because I'm so glad I didn't watch the show before I made my tape. I would have been so psyched, so terrified to do a good job in the audition. I was like, read the pages, trust your instinct, make the tape. I got the part, watched it, and thought, oh, shit, this is really good. I better get this. So I was glad that I wasn't as overwhelmed.
And so she comes in the second season and is immediately a romantic interest?
It goes pretty
we
fast.
have kind of a fun beginning.
Yeah.
How did it begin?
Well, basically, these two characters think that they could die any second, and the group that he's with finds their way to our farm because they're in Atlanta and they need sanctuary. So they find their way to our farm, and he and I end up going on an errand and kind of like making out in a pharmacy we're about before we get attacked by zombies because we think we could die tomorrow, and then end up kind of falling in love.
Yeah.
And
You had no idea this show would be a hit, did you?
I mean, I was just happy to have a job. And to be surrounded by the people that I was surrounded by, it was amazing because I would hear them buzzing on the first season. First season, they're like, I think we have something special. And we obviously, none of us knew. And then the first season aired and it just exploded.
And you had not watched it.
I had not watched it.
And so when they told you you're going to do a read for The Walking Dead, what did you think?
I thought, okay, cool, what's the character and what are the sides? Let me just, just like anything else. And I made a tape, too. I was in Ireland. I was at a wedding of a friend, and I thought, cool, get ready for the wedding, do this, go there. And then the second day, they called back and they said they really liked you, and then I'm like, Frank Darabont, okay, calm down. And then they said, come for a chemistry with Stephen Yeun. And then they called back that night, and they said, come, you booked the part. So I just flew to Georgia. It was like a 36-hour process.
Had you been working on the other side of the
I'd been
pond?
doing kind of on both sides. I'd done a few television series here, but this was kind of sci-fi thing. It kind of tends to be my
You're not
genre.
from Britain, though, right?
No, I'm from New Jersey, and then I moved to England when I was a kid.
How did that happen?
My mom is Scottish, and my parents love moving.
So you went to school, raised in
Yes.
Scotland, England?
In England. So my mom had moved over here when she was young with her family, and then when she met my dad and we got a bit older, she wanted to move us back to
Always
England.
wanted to be an actress?
My parents will say yes, but I thought I would be a swimmer or a psychologist. So I'm swimming through psychology, I suppose.
And
I don't
you
know.
always wanted to be an actor?
I was made to believe I was supposed to be a doctor.
Had Jewish parents?
Yeah, right. So I went that route, and it just, I don't know. I always had a performing bug, but yeah.
How do you explain this relationship? What is their relationship? Is it unwavering? Is it deep?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very deep. I think it's initially, you know, how it happens is very symbiotic. Kind of, they need each other, and then it turns into more than that. It turns into a deep-seated reason to live for each other.
The fourth season is complete. Have you done it? Finished all of them?
No, not yet. Few left.
Few left.
Yeah.
Any hint you can? People always wonder about the series fanatic people who follow it every year.
Yeah.
Any hint you can give us about what happens in the fourth year?
There's zombies.
There's zombies.
There's zombies in this
There are
one.
zombies.
And Terra.
No, I mean, that's the thing. We're so tight-lipped on this show, too.
So why?
Because
What would it spoil some vast eternal plan?
it's the internet. The
Yeah.
internet ruined everything.
So
People
therefore-
hate spoilers. They hate.
So if you
yeah.
told me something,
Yeah.
it would go out viral, right? And that was spoiled.
And I'd get fired.
Yeah.
You would get fired.
Maybe.
So you don't have, since people get knocked off on this show all the time, right?
Yeah.
You don't know if you're in the fifth season.
No.
Do you think they're going to knock you off?
That's
Just
always,
as a thought.
that's always a possibility, but I try to be as charming as possible.
Isn't it fearful to have a plot where the actors don't know if it's continuing? What do your contracts say?
They say you know nothing.
Oh, is it year to year?
I think we've signed for 7 years, but it's at their behest of
The sort of,
how long. we
if they
want.
knock you off, they don't have to pay you.
No,
Yeah.
no, we have to pay them.
What makes the show work? In your opinion, you may have different opinions, Stephen.
I think it's the group. I think it's the cast, the crew, and everybody kind of interconnected. I think it's a really hard thing to pull off what we're trying to do, and everybody buckles down. And despite the weather, this ridiculous asks and circumstances, we all kind of group together and churn it out. 8 days per episode, and it's like we're shooting mini movies.
Why do you think it works?
I think the show's really successful because they love the supernatural element and they love how. I actually just think there's a fascination with the simplicity of the apocalypse. Like, it's the end of the world, everything's about necessity. You don't even know if you're a hero, but you get to see if these normal people can be a hero. I think that's the fascination with our show, and then we're pretty grounded as a group.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan. They are Glenn and Maggie of The Walking Dead. Its fourth season now on AMC Sunday nights. We'll be right back. We're back with Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan of The Walking Dead. It was important that the two of you had a chemistry for this to work, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have a chemistry?
I would say so.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
laugh a lot.
Do you have a chemistry off the screen?
We're friends.
We're really good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you involved with any woman?
Yes, I am.
You are. Are you involved with any man? So if he weren't involved, you could...
Oh, you're really pushing the buttons. Wow.
Well, wait a minute. You're playing the part. You obviously have to be attracted on screen. That can happen.
Yeah. Well, talk about it. Let's do it in the next segment. We're going to talk about it. I'm just kidding.
Is your significant other ticked?
No, she's
No,
super
she's-
cool.
yeah.
I think we have a very mutual admiration for each other. We've had to do some pretty couple-ish scenes.
Like?
Really a sex scene that we had to go for. And what's great is like I make it a thing to feel comfortable with her, and she makes it a thing to feel comfortable with me, and it's fine.
I talked about this the other day with actors who, I quote Marcello Mastroianni, the great Italian actor years ago, who played a lot of love scenes in his
Yeah.
life. And he said, one, you don't get turned on playing a love scene. Two, they're hard to do. The angles are weird. You've got 40 people in the room. It's not a turn on. Is that true?
Yeah, it's interesting because you want it to be real. When you watch a film and you feel like the actors are holding back in a love scene like that, it really cheapens it, I think. But at the same time, you go for it, and then you look around and your DP's like, chewing sunflower seeds and spitting, and you're just like, hi guys.
The guy will say, move your arms this way, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what was great was they were really careful about that scene, and also, I think in terms of our characters, we get to play this out on television, so it's over a lot of seasons. And I heavily identify with my character and the love he has for Maggie, just because it's not a film. We don't do it for 2 months and we're done. We're doing it for 4 years, so it's pretty cool.
The fans of this show they typify the word fan, which is short for fanatic, right? Do people treat you as if you are Maggie?
In Trader Joe's, they scream Maggie.
Only in Trader Joe's. Only at Trader Joe's.
I just don't know. People just kind of get excited about the show as a whole as well, so they kind of just want to talk to you about the show. I don't feel treated like Maggie. Do you feel? Remember that time we were at the mall?
Yeah.
That was so annoying.
What happened?
Well, I mean, you know what's interesting is like when you're in people's homes and you go by a different name, your character name, they don't know, they think they know you, but they don't know you. And
But
so,
you're in the living room.
right, you're in the living room. So I was at the mall with her, we were just walking around, and this kid just kept on yelling, Glenn, 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 over. And it wasn't being like admonishing or like annoying, he didn't know my name, and that's the only name he knew. But he just kept on yelling it, and after a while, I kind of got annoyed, and I was like, that's not my name.
But it's a compliment in a way.
It absolutely is, but I just think there's a rule, you probably just shouldn't shout at people in general.
The show is very physical, this show, right? You get killed. Is it hard to train for?
Part of the show is training, actually. We'll do,
What do you do?
these running scenes. Sometimes you have to run like all the way around the prison on this gravel, crazy stuff, and then stab 17 zombies, and you do it 11 times in a row. It's just
In
like
99 degree weather, 100
yeah.
degree.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Atlanta in the summer is just a delight.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's great.
It's all lemonade.
So what's funny is we'll come and try to be as fit as we can at the top of the season just to come in, but if you watch the rest of the season, every single year we just get more and more scrawny. We just get more and more defeated and skinny, and then we just pack it all back on.
We just age a couple years in like
Yeah,
2
frankly,
months.
is it fun to do or is it a chore?
It's fun. It's fun. It's hard sometimes, but the emotional stuff is what's hard. The action stuff is kind of what I live for the actiony stuff. That's great.
Who, before the zombie apocalypse occurred, who were you?
Glenn, he was a pizza delivery boy, and he was kind of...
Pizza delivery boy.
Pizza delivery boy, and I think he was a recent grad that kind of just didn't take all the opportunities available to him and kind of looked at life as, well, I'm just stuck in this rut and I'm just going to be this way. Very underachieving kid.
And what about Maggie?
She was about to go off to community college, maybe. I mean, she lived on a farm and sort of worked with her dad. She had lost her mother, and her dad is actually remarried with another woman. She has a sister. So she's really lived a farm life.
You have a death dinner on that show, right? Someone dies, you have dinner with them?
Yeah.
Who'd you celebrate in the last show?
Oh, wait, is this a trick question?
No,
in the-
it's been aired already,
Oh, the
right?
last
Yes.
year. I was like, oh.
I was pretty good at that. I didn't know why I was doing it.
You always got something.
Who died last?
Laurie.
Laurie did.
Laurie Holland, who
last
plays
year.
Andrea. I mean, it's amazingly creative and inventive, and it's also really upsetting because these are our friends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say as time goes on, it does get easier because you sort of, you know each other more and you know you're going to stay in touch more after the whole thing is finished. But yeah, it's pretty...
Yeah, I mean, it's art imitating life in that sense. You're
Yeah.
really losing a character, and then you're losing your friend that you're doing.
Well, the makeup people must be interesting, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's some jobs they have to do,
Yeah.
right?
Across the board, I think we have a different makeup crew than the walkers, the zombies have a makeup crew. Sometimes we mix, but both sides are pretty amazing. Donna Premick, she did a bunch of scars for me last year, and she did an amazing job, and then turn around and the walkers look as disgusting as ever every single year.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more of Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan of The Walking Dead. We're back with Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan of The Walking Dead. Let's find out a little bit more about these people. You grew up in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. What age did you move to?
13.
13.
Yeah, I moved
Did you?
to-
You didn't want to move at 13, did you?
Oh, I was kicking and screaming. I actually have a photo from in front of our old house, and I have this Eastpak backpack, and I'm just like... I was really... And I had these patches and stuff, and nobody had patches when I moved to England, so we had this backpack. I had gained all this puffy art patch stuff over so many years, and in England they were like, what happened to your bag?
Did you get along quickly? Did you adapt quickly?
I mean, it was so strange. I feel like a lot of people have made that move now, but when I moved, I was like the only American person at my school. There was one other kid from Chicago called Brandon Coat, and he's
Was it tough to adjust?
It was really...
13's a tough age.
It was a really tough age, yeah. And I mean, you're going into a new school, we were in school uniform, there's a totally different system.
You have brothers and
That's
sisters?
good. 5. 5, I know. Younger.
Where were you in the...
I'm the first, and then the next one is 8 years younger than me, and then they go down from there. The
So they
youngest
had
one
an
is
easier
11.
time.
They had a much easier time. They were coming over kind of as toddlers.
Where'd you grow up, Stephen?
I grew up in Troy, Michigan, in the suburbs of Detroit.
And that's still home? Or you live
My
in LA
folks still
now?
live there,
Yeah.
but I live in LA, yeah.
And were you a young kid want to be an actor?
No, you know, I was really into music, and I was really into being annoying, so it just kind of worked out.
Do you think Asian American actors don't get enough breaks in Hollywood?
You know, I think there's a lot of factors when it comes to Asian American and the industry. I think it's a matter of amount of people trying to do it, the attention focused on that being an option for you, and also that, which is, you know, people aren't
Your
ready.
character doesn't, he could be anything, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Asian American. He could be black, he could be...
Anything.
All right. What was your first paid job?
It's a movie called The Young Alexander the Great from Macedonia. And it was
That's the whole title?
That's the whole title. Yet to be released. And
Will
it was,
it be released?
yeah, it's not finished. We refilmed this one scene, actually.
Oh.
We refilmed this one scene 9.5 years ago, where there was a gap in the story. We didn't really know how to bring it together. So they brought myself and the lead actor to Greece, because we had originally filmed it in Cairo. And they brought us to Greece, and they just filmed our feet, and then we just talked over the whole thing to explain the gaps in the story.
Filmed your feet.
Yeah, but they just, we're watching our feet go through certain terrain, and then they were saying, do you remember when this happened and when this happened?
Who do you play?
Wow.
Leto the Bowslinger, Alexander's fictional girlfriend.
Alexander was gay, though, wasn't
I
he?
know, that's a very fictional story.
What was your first paying job, Stephen?
My first paying job was, I think, a Second City touring company gig.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did off-the-cuff stuff, then.
Yeah, I did a lot of improv and sketch
You
in
like it?
Chicago. I love it. I love it. That's my roots.
You did sci-fi before, right? Mm-hmm. What did you do?
Yeah, I did Supernatural, I did Vampire Diaries, I did Chuck.
Oh, you were on Chuck?
Yeah, it was fun. And then I did an episode of Law & Order, which everybody knows is sci-fi.
Who did you play?
Just kidding. I did a guest star, actually, this year, Law & Order Special Victims Unit. I was Avery Johnson. I just forgot the character's
I
name.
mean, what happens to her?
She is a reporter, and she is pregnant, becomes pregnant with someone else's baby, and then the rapist wants... She's raped by her cameraman, and the rapist wants custody of her child, and it's, of course, based on a true story, as they all are.
Yeah.
And it was pretty harrowing. It was actually a really... It was
That's
a
an
huge,
intense show to
It was
do,
a
isn't it?
huge piece, like, to bite off. It was really good.
How do you foresee The Walking Dead, I was going to say deadening. How do you see
Yeah.
it ending?
I
In
hope
its,
they
let's
make
say,
it to
10th
a-
year.
Yeah.
How will it, just a wild guess, how do you think they're going to end it?
If they ended it, I would love for all the zombies to reanimate into humans. I would love for The Walking Dead to end with civilization went back to normal. Not that it was all a dream, but maybe in essence of it was all a dream.
That'd be nice.
That would be kind of fun. They're doing a spin-off actually now, and we don't know where it's going to be yet, but I think it's going to give an interesting...
They got a spin-off
perspective.
already?
They have a spin-off.
The Walking Dead 2?
The Walking Dead Miami.
How do you think it's going to go?
I don't know. I mean, we could all die. We could find salvation. Maybe one of us survives.
Well, if you were planning it out, how would you end it?
I'd end it with the baby. The baby being the last beacon of hope.
There's a baby that one of the main characters in the beginning of the series is Laurie, and she's pregnant as the apocalypse is beginning. And she dies giving birth to her baby, and this baby has now sort of become the Messiah almost. So the baby is like the thing that we're all trying to keep alive, and miraculously, you know, she's still with us. She hasn't been gobbled up.
We'll be back with our remaining moments, The Walking Dead, in its 4th year. Don't go away. We're back with Stephen Yeun and Lauren Cohan. The Walking Dead is in its fourth season, a tremendous hit on AMC Sunday nights. We have some social media questions for you. Stephen Boroff on Facebook. Does doing this show give you nightmares about walkers and AKA zombies?
No, I get more nightmares about not waking up on time. 4 a.m. call.
That's your call?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I did in the beginning get nightmares about the zombies.
You did?
I'd wake up and there would be one on my pillow. But that was kind of more from watching the show, like watching the first season. Once you're there and you're doing it, you can kind of...
Love Friends Lover on Instagram wants to know, what was your favorite scene?
Oh.
Do you have one that you've done?
Oh, so many.
I would guess the sex scene. That would have been my favorite.
That was a good scene.
That was a good scene.
That was a good scene.
Chris Hardwick named that the Sex Garage. The place
yeah.
where we shot that became that.
You shot it in the garage? Did it
Yep.
take all day?
It's pretty fast.
Whoa.
No, I mean, you know.
Are you going to shave your heads as your characters do in the comics?
We've moved past the point when they actually do that in the comic, but...
You never know.
I don't know.
You never know if you shave your head.
people.
I always put it out there. I have a really ugly shaped head underneath. I mean, you could probably tell right
So you
now.
asked them not to shave it?
I don't ask them. If they want me to do it, I'll do it, but I'm just telling the public that they
Would
won't
you
want
shave
it.
your head?
Definitely. I shouldn't really say that. I'll
Yeah,
lose all
don't
my
say
shampoo
it.
campaigns,
Yeah.
but...
You would shave your head?
Yeah, it would be so fun. I'd love to. Would you?
I don't think so. At this stage, no.
Yeah.
At XSmiler96 asks, will Glenn and Maggie get married?
We got engaged, and I think it might...
I think you know,
enough of a
yeah,
bond.
less an engagement. I think it was more of a bond, and Glenn does mention in the episode that they don't need a fancy wedding.
So there's no marriage. We know that. We can say what isn't.
Yes.
There's no marriage in the fourth season.
Right.
That we
Yeah.
know.
We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know, but we know there's no marriage.
Right.
Ah, you see?
But we don't know. But we don't know.
We don't know to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
don't know.
nothing.
I think
Yeah.
I learned something, but what the hell? I don't know. Go on Twitter. Is there a possible baby in the works for their characters?
You have to watch and find out.
Yeah.
Okay. And Don Jaman on Twitter wants to know which character would be more affected if the other died.
Oh, that's harsh.
Ooh, more affected.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just go like Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. You're
pretty
desperately
bad.
in love, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have this a game called It's If You Only Knew. Just quick questions. Favorite death scene?
T-Dog, because he went out like a hero.
In the pilot. There's a guest star in the pilot. It's very, very good.
Best way to kill a zombie?
With a crowbar in the head.
Under the chin with a machete.
Isn't this delightful, folks? Well, this show's a comedy, by the way. Biggest risk you ever took?
Telling my parents that I wanted to be an actor.
Oh, just everything.
Everything.
All actors are risk takers.
Yeah, yeah, every day.
Do you remember the first girl you ever kissed?
Yes, I do.
What was her name?
Helen.
How old were you?
I was 14.
Little
Yeah.
late.
Yeah,
Back in Troy?
back in Troy.
Where was it? Where did it occur?
It was in my room.
Ooh,
Your room
Bola.
at the house?
Yeah.
How did you lure Helen there?
Wow, this got deep so quick.
Was it homework or what?
It was my
Helen,
parents aren't
wanna-
home.
Your parents were not home?
No.
Okay. You ever find out what happened to Helen?
Yes, she's fantastic. I actually still kind of keep in touch with her sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. We're good friends, yeah.
She get married or?
And she's married and
Wow.
she's living a great life. This is
But her husband knows that she kissed Glenn? Okay, who's the
He
first
probably
boy?
doesn't care.
Who's the first boy you ever kissed? Was it in Jersey or?
It was in Jersey, yeah.
Ah, good. At least before 14.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was maybe 12.
Who was it?
It was Danny Mayo. My parents used to call him Colonel Mustard on the phone. It was really embarrassing. And they'd say it so you could hear it. If you're out there, hi, Danny.
Do you ever know what happened to Danny?
No, I don't know.
Where
He's
did it
probably
occur?
doing well. He was a nice kid.
Where did it occur?
At the bus stop. He came off the bus with me at my stop and then,
disgusting. the bus stop.
And everyone in the bus saw, but it was actually really sweet.
Were you blushing? Were you shocked?
Yeah, and then I went, okay, thanks, bye. And then I went inside, and my aunt was actually inside, and she saw. It was a very appropriate
You
embarrassment.
know what Danny Mayo says to this day?
Oh, what?
You left him. They moved you to England because
Yeah.
you were so desperately in love with him. They had to break you up.
You might be right.
Person you'd most like to meet?
Obama.
You'd like him? Nice guy.
Yeah, I have so many, and now I'm just like...
Okay, it's not a test.
I know. It's
What's a guilty pleasure you have?
not calling people back.
That's a pleasure?
No, like pretending your phone is dead.
Oh, I see. What's your pleasure?
I eat too much candy.
If you weren't an actor, what would you be?
Oh, an architect.
Architect? Mm-hmm. Were you good in math?
Yeah, I was good in math. I love buildings.
Stephen?
I dreamt of being a Sports Center anchor.
Yeah, I was just at ESPN. Just did great. There's nothing beats sports. It's so unimportantly important.
It's so great.
Yeah.
The first trauma.
It's great to nap,
Thank you
too.
both very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Keep good luck. We don't know what happens to them, but I will tell you this: they don't get married. Season 4. Season 4 of The Walking Dead on AMC Sunday nights at 9. I'm Larry King. Follow me on Twitter at King's Things. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.